Hello, everybody. I'm Brittany Coleman. Today we're going to be reviewing my case study of when students' rights are wronged. Let's start with the overview of the case. We're talking about Nottingham High School. It approximately has 3,200 students, and it is the only high school within that region. The building has been under renovation. It's kind of older. They want to bring it up to code for students with disabilities, but due to lack of funding, about a fourth of the school is still non-compliant. The student in the family that we are talking about today is Miguel Hernandez. He is a sophomore at Nottingham High School and he's a football player. His parents moved to the district because they liked the football program and thought it'd be great for all of their children to be involved in. During a football game, Miguel sustains a spinal injury that paralyzes him from the waist down. Upon wanting to come back to school, Miguel's mother, Mrs. Hernandez, and him meet with Miss Gussman, the counselor, to determine accommodations that he would need. His mother advocates that he really just needs to be able to get into his classrooms and they need to be accessible for him. Other than that, he doesn't need any other accommodations. So Miguel is welcomed back into school. They have an assembly for him. But before he can get to his first period, his teacher informs him that Miss Gussman, the counselor, would like to have a conference with him. Miguel goes to her office and finds out that Miss Gussman has removed him from his biology class because the classroom is not accessible. She has instead placed him in an alternative science class that is a requirement for graduation, but does not sustain requirements for college. The following day, Ms. Hernandez makes an appointment with me, the principal. Ms. Hernandez wants to know why Miguel is being denied access to his biology class, why her and her husband were not informed of the change to his schedule. Ms. Hernandez also expresses that the class is a required class for Miguel to go to college, which he intends to do so. Again, the other science class is just a graduation requirement for high school. Before the end of that meeting, Mr. Hernandez arrives with Miguel's attorney, Mr. Howard Carey, who states the school is in violation of Section 504 and free, appropriate public education. Now let's talk about some legal and ethical issues. So the school is in violation of Section 504, which states that no individual with a disability shall be excluded, denied, or subjected to discrimination under any program receiving federal financial assistance. So that would be a school district. Section 504 also requires school districts to provide free and appropriate education. So denying Miguel access to his biology class, we are now in violation of FAPE because he wants to be in that class. And this is also considered discrimination due to not allowing Miguel to take the biology class because he is in a wheelchair. So to summarize the case up, it is a direct reflection of the lack of education of staff on special education rights in Section 504. Now let's talk about things related to the case. The people involved are going to be our student Miguel Hernandez, his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez, Ms. Gussman, the counselor, myself as the principal, and the Hernandez attorney, Howard Carey. Nottingham High School is the place where this case is involved. Again, it's an older school that has been under construction, but due to lack of funding, a fourth of the school remains non-accessible. And then the programs involved are the high school where Miguel was denied his biology class, as well as the football program where Miguel sustained his spinal injury. Let's talk about some of our information. So Miguel endures a spinal injury that requires him to use a wheelchair. Ms. Gussman denies Miguel the right to take biology without consulting his parents or administration. Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez secure an attorney to ensure that Miguel is receiving his accommodations under Section 504 and FAPE. And then the principal is brought into the situation very late. So This information is pretty damaging to the school district. Um, we need to get Miguel back into his biology class. We can move the classroom to a different location. We can have him zoom in, but it's still not the same as being within the classroom, so we could still be in violation of FAPE at that point. I need to contact essential stakeholders and update them on the situation. This would include our school superintendent, let them know that, hey, I had an attorney in my office because we are having FAPE violations. And also, the district special education department should be aware of what's going on. I will need to provide the parents notice and procedural safeguards so they are aware of all of their rights when it comes to disability and students. And then I need to speak with Ms. Gussman to understand why she didn't consult me on her decision. We could have had Miguel come to the school on a weekend and we could have had him do his schedule and we can see where he would have issues with accessibility. We needed to be consulted. Some of the options that I have to help with the accommodations of Miguel would be the first one, continue to have Miguel placed into another science class. So really just don't do anything. As a pro, he is still within the requirements for graduation and the classroom is accessible for him to get into. Parents could move on with litigation though. So the school could be found denying Miguel a FAPE and we could be sued. Option 2, allow Miguel to either Zoom or Google Meet into the biology class. A pro of this would be Miguel is taking the course, he's with his parents, he will be ready for college. A con, he's restricted from his peers and he's isolated out of the classroom. It could also be difficult to get labs done. They might not be able to get the materials out to him to be able to fully participate in class. Option 3, we should explore why the biology class is not accessible. A pro, we are finding the root cause of the issue and we can determine a fix. A con, this could take time and Miguel would still be denied his free appropriate education. And then the last option, we could move the biology class into a different classroom until it is accessible for Miguel. The pro would be Miguel would get to be with his peers in biology, again, getting ready for college. And then a con would be other classrooms might not be able to sustain a biology class. They might not have sinks if they're doing dissections, and it just might not be suitable. All right, let's talk about the best options. The best options that I think would help solve our issue would be a combination of 3 and 4. So finding the root cause to why the room is not accessible. Starting the process of making it accessible. You know, we could involve our shop class with the school. We could ask if they would be able to build a ramp so that way Miguel could get into the classroom and it could be their school project. So that way funding shouldn't be an issue because it is benefiting another class. And then also moving the biology class to a different location until the original classroom is renovated. So we are having the shop class possibly build a ramp for Miguel to get into, but in the meantime, we are moving that class into a different location so that way he is not being denied his education. How would I implement this plan? So firstly, I would apologize to Miguel and his family about the situation, letting them know that this is not how our school operates and that he is more than welcome to be here. We want him here. I need to listen to the family's concerns and propose those possible solutions. Secondly, I would notify other stakeholders like our school superintendent and the district special education department about the situation. Because of funding being an issue, now that we have a student that is being denied access, maybe we can get that funding through the special education department. I would have a conference with the biology teacher, let them know what the situation is, that we're going to have to switch classrooms, and I would help them transition into switching to that classroom. I would have to meet with Miss Gussman. I need to provide training for her or resources to help her understand the laws and regulations of students with disabilities, and that we cannot just remove them from a class they want to take because it's not accessible, that we need to accommodate them and make them inclusive in our school culture. And then lastly, I would again meet with Miguel and his family, let them know about the changes we are making um, to make those classrooms more accessible for Miguel and see if they need further intervention. In the event that Miguel's family is not happy with our plan, I would look into seeing if maybe Miguel would be able to take his biology class the following year to allow time for that classroom to become accessible. I would alert our school superintendent that the family is not content with our plan to get Miguel back into biology so they could determine the next steps as a district in case there is litigation. We can inform lawyers and continue to think of plans to help make the family happy. And then again, I would apologize to the family, let them know that we are going to do better at being an inclusive school and that we are planning professional development for all staff on laws and regulations of students with disabilities. And those are my references. I look forward to hearing your comments, and I really hope I did a good job. Thank you.